and they put cheese in front of the mouse. And they hooked this little device to him where he would run and he would pull, and the pressure, they would measure that. Then they put him out there. Then they put the scent of a cat behind him. So he smells the cat. He doesn't want to get eaten, so he runs. They take the two and they take the difference of them. And they see that actually the cat, you're more influential because that's death. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Riff Podcast, episode number 59. We got new setup, as you guys can tell. How about that? Parker's in frame, huh?
Feeling a little different over here.
Hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to light the candle for you, dude.
Feeling like a superstar sitting on this side of the table.
Is this what it takes? Look at there. Setting the candle for Parker. We got the Christmas scents. We're trying to get everybody loosed up. Got my eggnog here.
Is that actually eggnog? I was wondering, you were drinking it yesterday. I thought it was milk. I was like, why is that milk so thick? Like, why is it sticking to the glass like that?
Nah, it's eggnog, dude.
I wasn't going to ask because you're going to be like, oh, it's all natural milk. It's something. So I'm not even going to ask the question.
Nah, it's the holiday season. We're getting in the eggnog, getting the Christmas scent, and talking on the podcast. Guys, I have a few things to talk to you about. Specifically, one, Patrick Bet-David. Do you know who he is?
No, earlier when you mentioned him, I thought you said Patrick Bateman, which is, I think it's the guy that played the Joker. Or not the Joker, no. Green Goblin.
Nah, that's someone else.
It's he's the Sigma guy, or like he has like that.
Yeah. He's the. So I think it was the American Psychos when his name's Patrick Bateman, right?
Yeah.
That was American Psycho. It's he's the Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. He was Batman.
I'm trying to think of his name.
No, I am trying to think of his name. I don't know. Whoever it is. It starts with B. It's gonna kill me. I don't know, I'm drawing blank. So, no, Patrick Bet-David. Okay, so basically, he's a guy who grew up in, I think, like Iran or something, and then ended up going from there to the United States because of the wars. Like, in Iran, how there's constant wars. Over in the Middle East, there's constant wars going on and stuff. Well, he was over there, then bomb stuff went on, so he ended up going to Germany. Then he ended up moving to America, and he had nothing. His family had nothing, and then he grew up from there and kind of made a name for himself. Now he was in the finance industry, does insurance. Now he does podcasts, and he was the guy that interviewed Andrew Tate when he first got out of jail.
Yeah, I searched right before we started. I searched because I just wanted to know if I recognize his face. I'd noticed his face from somewhere, but I still don't really know what he does or who he is or anything.
Well, so really the reason, he came out with a new book, so he's doing his whole podcast run and stuff, and going around and talking about whatever it is that he. I think his book's called something about enemies, choose your enemies wisely.
Oh yeah.
Basically, saying in life that there's two different ways to be motivated. There's negativity and positivity. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was actually a study done on this where a mouse, they took a mouse and they wanted to see what is more influential in people's lives, or at least in animals' lives. Is it a negative force or a positive force? And they took this mouse and they put cheese in front of the mouse, and they hooked this little device to him where he would run and he would pull, and the pressure, they would measure that pressure that he's pulling to eat the cheese. Yeah. Right? They would see that. Obviously, he would never eat it. Then they record that. Okay, that's the amount of effort that he puts to try to get it. He didn't get it. Okay. Then they put him out there. Then they put the scent of a cat behind him. So he smells the cat. Yeah. He doesn't want to get eaten, so he runs. They record that one. They take the two and they take the difference of them. And they see that actually the cat, you're more influential because that's death.
I say, is fear the same thing as
happiness?
Well, no, I'm saying because on a previous podcast, you said you listen to sad music, get you motivated,
mm-hmm.
which I guess you said you get sad, then you're in fear of going down that path or whatever. But I was wondering if sad and fear are the same thing. I wonder if
they're very close. They're very similar.
If it was run to the edge of that cage or your mother dies, or run to the cage or you're going to be eaten, if it's the same negative thing, if it's better than positive still. I'd assume it is, honestly. I assume both of them are.
Well, okay, so you're saying sad as in your fear of a loved one dying would make you sad.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's still fear.
Yeah, it's still fear.
Yeah.
So they're very similar. But they measured these two, and then when they put them together, and you have the cheese and the cat, obviously he runs the hardest.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have both of them. So that's what Patrick Bateman or Bet David was talking about, is how most people choose their goals in life. Whenever they want the money, they want the freedom, they want all the finances, whatever it is, they choose that. Like, I think all of us have goals in life.
Yeah.
But where most people go wrong is they don't have that cat. They don't have that thing. Like, for LeBron James, he had that, right? Because he grew up with nothing. He had nothing, right? It's us who are comfortable, who we're not running away from anything because we're in our comfort zone. Most average Americans are very comfortable. You have food, you have water, and you have shelter. You have everything to survive, but you don't have something to run away from. We don't have a negative force that keeps us motivated so we can get actually those goals that we have set for us.
Yeah, and honestly, I can relate to that because, like, after I got like injured in high school, I played sports and all that stuff. I was in like great shape. I've always been a big guy, but I was still in like decent shape for like a big guy, like in high school.
Yeah.
After I got injured, I started getting fatter and fatter and stuff. And at first, I was like, not really care to be ripped, whatever. So I wasn't really going for like the good thing. And then as soon as I got like 360 pounds, I was like, dude, if I don't do something now, like, you can't fix this when you're 30, 40. Like, you're kind of screwed at that point. So, like, I was like, I don't want to be fat the rest of my life. So then, like, I was running away from that, and I finally started getting in shape.
No, and then and then you have something to run away for. But then you look at where are we at now? Do we really have something negative that we are running away from? And I would say we're putting ourselves in that circumstance where we are like, oh, our back's up against the wall, right? The only thing we can do is go forward. And so we're starting to do that, but his thing is choose an enemy. So what he says, which I actually agree with a lot of it, is there's three forces that every man needs in his life in order to be successful. The first is one who gives unconditional love. Okay? Unconditional love meaning no matter what you do, that person will always love you. Typically, most of the time, it's a mother.
Yeah.
Right? Mother's going to give you an unconditional love. You could go murder someone for all she cares, and she's still going to love you.
Honey, why'd you do that?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to have to do this to fix it, but, whatever it is, right? You could, like, that unconditional love. The next one is you have to have someone who unconditionally hates you.
Yeah.
Right? That's most of the time an enemy that they choose, right? So whether that could be, or just someone, maybe not unconditionally hates you, but that will never believe in you, or that never thinks that you're going to amount to anything almost. So you have to prove them wrong, right? So that would be a force that you move into. And then I think the third,
which for a lot of people is their dad, honestly.
Yeah.
I hear tons of stories. Guys like, I've never made my dad proud.
Never going to make him proud. So I'm going to work my ass off in order to prove to him that I am worth it, that I can do that. Yeah, a lot of people, that is the person, whatever it is. And some people it's different. But then there's another one for man that has to be like a discipline force, like the one that they fight against. So they're like making them proud. Well, so maybe I mixed the two. Because when you said the dad, you kind of threw me off. So I think there's one that's proud, and then there's one that is the enemy. Like, so you want to make him proud that he may believe in you. So I think that's it. There's one that unconditionally hates you, and there's one that you want to that you need to prove wrong, basically, or you need to make him proud. Those three things, and I'm like, you know what? That's kind of makes sense for a lot of stuff. Where, I think like that can actually help you benefit. But he's been going around, he's been making these things. And one thing that he talked about specifically, he gets into politics a lot. Okay. And he was talking about politics and how a politician, specifically a president, needs those three qualities in order to be a good leader. Right? Good leaders need to have that. They need to be respected. They need to be they need to have like freedom to do whatever they want without someone whispering in their ear.
Yeah.
And they need to have some sort of like selflessness, like compassion and pride for their country.
Which I feel for presidents, the unconditional support and the guy you're trying to prove wrong is just automatically built in with the parties. Like you have your party that's behind you pretty much unconditionally, and you have the other party who you're trying to prove wrong, like watch me lower taxes or watch me do this. Like, I feel like those two are kind of built into having the job.
No, well, so that I guess those are separate things.
Yeah.
Because that one was like for man to be successful. He was saying for a politician to be successful.
Oh,
he needs to be like leadership qualities. So I could have brought those two. But when that's what he was talking about, and he said there's three, which I was interested in, or at least from the modern like history that you think of, presidents that the United States have had, there's three of them who are prominent who had those three qualities. The first one is JFK. Okay.
Things didn't turn out too well for him.
They didn't turn out too well. Okay. First, that was JFK because he was a leader that people respect, like the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? The Cold War, all these things. Like he was willing and able to drop a nuke if he needed to, right? So he was respected. The next is that he was compassionate, right? He actually cared for his country. During the Civil Rights Movement, he was very working with Martin Luther King, working with those sort of guys, trying to make things better, right? Civil rights. So he was compassionate. And what was the last one?
Hey, pal, it's on you. You're teaching me here.
Oh, freedom. He needed to have freedom, financial freedom. So he didn't take any money from, I don't know if it's any, but he took very little money from other like political forces, right? Yeah. So a lot of times when people go into politics, they get their funding, right? They get their funding from PACs, is what they're called, PAC. And these groups are allowed to donate a bunch of money to basically get you to advertise more to put you into office.
Yeah.
Right? These super PACs. Have you heard of that before?
I'm thinking of like, aren't they also called like sponsors or like?
Nah.
Not like sponsors like brands, but just like really rich people are called. I'm pretty sure like not even like a sponsor, something like a partner, like.
Yeah, so there can be donors.
Donors is kind of what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but as a separate, because donors is a personal entity. PACs are groups of corporations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's big money.
Yeah,
which they're. You start talking about that, then we get into the deep
end. We need some PAC for the podcast.
Yeah, we need.
Anybody out there want to become our PAC? Let us know.
We need some PACs for the podcast, some deep money. Yeah. But so that gets to where when you take money from a PAC, you have to follow by. You basically, you take money from them, you have to like follow by what they tell you.
Yeah.
Right. So if they want, hey, let's sneak this through that little law there. Okay, we got to sneak it. Right. Yeah. The whisper in their ear, they're doing the puppets. Right. And so JFK, he didn't have to get any PACs because his dad made so much money that he put the money up front for him to run for office and get elected. Sure enough.
That's the same. You haven't said the other two people yet, but I assume I know who one is based off the money line. Yeah. Like Trump doesn't have to listen to anybody. Like he's got his money. He doesn't. That's why he does things how he does them.
That's it. And he's very like look at the wars that have gone on now, the conflicts that are happening now, and look 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, what kind of stuff was going on then? Mm-hmm. It wasn't like heck they're pulling out, right? Yeah. There weren't all that stuff going on. So that's one thing as well. Next guy is Ronald Reagan. Yeah. Ronald Reagan made his money in Hollywood, made his money, then went to be the governor of California. Then he became president, and during his time, the Berlin Wall, the East Berlin, that was taken down, which was communism. It was communism divide.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the Cold War, right? So he was compassionate in trying to help spread democracy across the whole world and allow for even not in the United States only, but outside of that. Also the drug-free policy, like that was all implemented during his time. And he had attempted assassination on his life, and I guess Secret Servicemen ended up jumping in front of the bullet and ended up getting killed. But those three guys, like very recent times, that all that happened, and it's like, this world is it is crazy. The ultimate judgment, right? I believe that there's one judge, right, and that's God. That is the ultimate judge. When you die,
I thought you were going to say Oprah.
Right. When we all die, I believe that you go up into heaven. Heaven you go to your judgment day, right? He judges you on what you've done in this world, if you've provided value, if you've been a good person, if you've given love, or if you just only take, whatever it may be. And I think there's one judge and one judge only. In this realm, in the world that we live in, a gun is very much a judge, right? Like that is the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, where one simple like range of, pulling a trigger and that ends it.
It is, but it's not at the same time, because it depends what kind of judge you talk. It's the judge of life and death, but it doesn't judge where you go. Unlike God, like God judges where you go.
No, I know he's everlasting life.
Yeah, the gun judges life and death, but doesn't judge your future after that.
Exactly. So then it would be like, where's your soul go?
Yeah.
But your body in the whatever we are here, the judge of that is that.
The gun's like a juror,
life.
And God's the judge. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Guns and knives and drugs are all jurors.
But isn't it interesting how that one thing can like take all of that reputation that was built, all of the time and effort that it took, all the value that was given, all of the things that like help the world get pushed in a better direction, help humanity move in a better direction, can be taken away like that.
Yeah, and it still depends how you look at it, because I still wouldn't say it's a gun. It's a person's mindset behind it, obviously. But, like, I mean, gun's not going to walk into your room and kill you.
No, correct. Yeah, there's a person behind it that makes that decision, obviously. It's not. But, like, I think in Reagan's case and in JFK's case, and we have yet to see with the third one, in those two cases, you look at their lives and you see like what could happen if you get on the wrong side of some people's, like on the bad side of their things, which is kind of crazy. And where I see there's an issue is it may not be that, it may be like as well, there's like multiple levels to it, but choosing an enemy, right? So those guys, for instance, like Trump right now, his enemy that he's going after is like some tough guys, or these guys with a lot of power, a lot of money, which time will only tell if that's a wise move or not to choose that enemy. But you see like how that book and how Patrick Bet-David like brings that in is like, oh yeah, maybe like Elon Musk, what the enemies that he's chosen, or the people that choose him as an enemy are no good. That guy's a winner.
Yeah.
And he's chosen to go up against those powerful people as well. But he's a smart guy, and he just keeps on going. It's like if you choose Elon Musk as an enemy, you're an idiot.
I mean, when you're telling Disney to go F themselves, you got some power.
You see? That's what I'm saying. And Disney has chose them as an enemy. And have you seen Disney's stock price?
I mean, when like I've passed 3 years, because it's been going down.
It's just been going down, dude. It just continues to. And it's like, why you're falling down the cliff, why would you still be flipping people off?
I'm sure it's because of one of them packs.
I mean, I guess they're in cahoots with whoever, and they need to get pumped by the politicians. Yeah, I guess it could be something like that, and that's where it comes down to that corporations and organizations, and those sort of things, really can draw back on stuff.
Yeah.
But it's it's very interesting where I've always, like I've told you before, that like, I don't know if it's like dark energy, but there's that thing that motivates me. Negativity motivates me more than positivity. Right? I would rather not have to go to the airport, go through security, sit at my gate, get bunched in with a group of people back in the back of the plane, have my baggage lost, all this stuff. I would rather not, like, avoid that than shoot for a private jet.
Yeah.
Right? So my motivation comes from not doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because I hate that stuff. It's not because I want to fly in this private jet. No, it's great because the alternative to that is the crap.
Yeah.
So my motivation comes from the crap. It doesn't come from the positivity of the things. But the cool part is when you put both of those together and you can think through it and you're like, well, this really sucks, but this would be a lot better.
That's what I feel like. I just kind of like in my head just put them together automatically, because when I think about like why I would want a private jet is so I can afford or avoid all that other stuff. So I feel like it's just like I'm actually like ingrained, like if you get this thing that's better, you avoid the stuff that's bad.
Yeah, but so that's where you got to be careful though, because if you put those at equal points, then you're not gonna be as motivated, right?
No, yeah, I mean obviously I care. Like it's not like I think, oh, I'm sitting in this private jet, it's gonna have the comfiest seat, and I'm gonna be the most comfortable guy. I think I'm gonna get to avoid all that crap.
Yeah, and get to go through it. No, exactly. That's why I'm way more motivated negatively than I am positively. I think that's a lot of people, and that's what some people call it, like the dark energy.
Yeah.
But there's like a dark energy, and that's like the whole thing behind Star Wars. I know you're not a big fan of Star Wars, but that is the dark side and the light side. Like that is the yin and yang. There has to be both in order for the world to work, the universe to work. There has to be a yin and a yang, and that dark side is powerful. It is very powerful, but it is a selfish force. It is like what you use for yourself. The good side is what helps most amount of people. It allows most people to thrive. There needs to be a balance of that, and also what Patrick Bet-David, getting from him as well, he said 70-30 split. Right, so you don't know where I'm going with this, so I'm going to ask you, do you think being selfish is beneficial for humanity? Like if you're a selfish person?
You have asked me this before.
Have I?
And yeah, he said it's like the 70-30 thing, like 70% selfish, 30% unselfish. Because like you said, if you're completely unselfish.
No, I think it's the other way.
I don't think so. Well, at least that's not what you told me last time.
Oh.
Because you're leaning more, because it's like if you're completely selfish, then you're not helping anybody. You're helping yourself. Right. But if you're completely unselfish, you're never gonna have enough to be able to make a big impact.
Yeah, that was it. You're right. You got to be more selfish for yourself and doing things for yourself than being unselfish.
Yeah, because we had this, and I was like, I'd say 60-40, and I'd say like 60 selfish, 40 unselfish.
Yeah.
I remember we had this conversation, but yeah, that makes sense.
But you do, because like for instance, like for building a business, right? The reason why you build the business is because. And you talk about this a lot too, because I say like a lot of my motivating factors is to help people, right? To give people value, to let them have easy access information, all of this sort of stuff. That's why my mission, that's my purpose, right? Yeah. What I want to do. And you're like, yeah, but you also want to make money.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, I do. But that's what, like some people get mad at people because they're like, well, you're just making money off of people. Well, I'm making money because I'm helping people.
Yeah. And I'm not like, I never say it as like, oh, well, you're just trying to make money. I'm like, yeah, you want to help people, but also like you want to make the money. Like nobody starts a business or does something, like a lot of hard work and is like, man, I don't want the money. Like, you need the money. It's not even that you want it, but you need it to
keep on going,
to carry out your goals to help people. And stuff like that.
And not only that, like, okay, if I am working my ass off and I'm doing as much as I can, but I still get the same that someone else gets, then that's communism.
Yeah.
And if we're both working our ass off, but our buddies are over there just kind of chilling and they get the same amount that we get, then we're going to decrease. We're going to go down to their comfort level because there's no reason for us to work hard because we're getting the same amount. So there needs to be something that we get selfishly in order for everyone to have a positive net benefit on life.
And that's how most people who have like 9-to-5 jobs think, because I see tweets and stuff like that all the time. They're like this is just like a tip to anybody that has a job at like a big corporation. They're like, do the least amount of work as possible because you're still gonna get paid the same amount. And like, if you're in that situation, it's not bad advice, because I mean, whatever, you just need to get out of that situation is the thing, and then you can actually put in more work to make more.
I don't know, because I say if you're in that situation, you work harder, and then you go tell your boss what all of you have done and why you have earned a raise, right? So then you actually work harder and you're going to make more money because you work
Which is easier said than done, because I feel like most of the time they'll be like, sorry, pal.
Yeah, and then, no. It depends. I mean, so if they're like that, like it depends on the corporation, right? Most of the time you're not dealing with big corporations. You're dealing with small companies.
No, yeah. See, that's why I'm thinking like a cash register or a cashier at
like
Walmart.
Like a 7-Eleven at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're screwed.
Yeah, like I've been scanning one item a second. I need a raise. I'm like, keep on scanning, pal. Like,
well, I mean, and unfortunately, those guys are going to get off the maps with, self-checkout already.
Yeah.
Right. Artificial intelligence and robots are going to take those jobs anyway.
Scan with your hand, pay with your hands.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff is going away. So that really, is kind of irrelevant. Those guys don't even those guys need more direction. They need to listen. They're not listening to this podcast, right? They need more of a direction because they're going to be replaced anyways. It's the guys who, go out and have a finance job. Yeah. Right, or whatever, and they're doing like marketing or something like that. Well, if they're only supposed to get 4 companies to sign their marketing thing this month. Well, if they get 6, they still get paid the same. Okay, but then they get 6 again the next month, and then 6 again the next month. Then they say, "Hey, boss, I've been getting like double, or I've been getting more than what you asked. Do you care do you think that'd be beneficial for me to get a raise?" Yeah. And he's like, "You know what? Yeah, you've been producing. Let's do it." Right?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Especially like sales jobs and stuff. Like, if you're out there making your company a ton of money, they'll be willing to pay you more.
Sales typically comes with a percentage that you get as well, like a percentage on top of base salary. Yeah. But even like if you just only get salary, like you can actually go and ask for a raise if you put in the work. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people, they're just like content. They're chilling. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I've been watching, like I said, him going around and definitely gonna get his book. I think it just came out, so I gotta get on there and order it. But that's gonna be it for the podcast, guys. Hope you enjoyed. This is a new setup. We're kind of vibing. Parker, how have you been? You enjoy being on this side?
Yeah, no, it's definitely different, but I'm just ready to see the comments. All the comments were,
I know.
Why you got 2 chairs? Why you holding your mic?
We got it now, boys. We got it.
Guess what? Look at us now.
Yeah, we're professional, dude. What can we say? That's going to be it for the podcast. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button. And, guys, we are on every platform as well. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Audible. So wherever you listen to your podcast, go ahead and leave us a review. Okay, on any of those. Leave us a review. It's going to help us out tremendously, reach more people. Other than that, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.